What's poppin', big dogs? It's your boy Thick Little Burns or Flea Grandpa, whichever you want to call me. And today I'm here to review Detective Pikachu. And as you guys can see, I just grabbed the fleest hat I could find. Howdy. And we'll just get into the summary, the things I like, the things I didn't like. So the summary starts off with our main character attempting to catch a Cubone because his friend thinks that they would be a perfect fit. This is because our main character has lost his mother and supposedly lost his father. Cubone is wearing the skull of its dead mother, so it is an orphan. Therefore, his friend is saying that they're both perfect for each other because they're orphans. Our main character fails, and he's alright with it because when he was younger he wanted to be a trainer. Now he does not want to be a trainer. So now he gets a bunch of missed calls, and what happens is he finds out that there was a car crash, this involving his father and his partner Pikachu. So he goes to his dad's apartment and reminisces over his mother, his father, and his grandmother. While he's there and downstairs getting mail, he runs into a reporter for CMS who has a Psyduck who has headaches, and she tries to get some information out of him. Obviously, he doesn't have any. He then goes up to his apartment, and when he goes into his father's room, he finds a Pikachu, and hilariously enough, threatens him with a staple gun. Okay. So next, we see him talking with this Pikachu, which can supposedly talk to him, and this is really weird. The next thing we see, though, is our main character going into another room and releasing some purple gas, which gets in contact with some Apom outside, who go completely wild, and they chase him. And so the Pikachu and him hilariously escape through a trash vent, I guess. So they talk a bit, go grab coffee because this Pikachu is addicted to caffeine, and they end up going together to find his father, who they assume is not dead, because Pikachu is not dead and they were in the same car crash. Their first stop is to a battle ring of sorts, and this is the second time where we see purple gas. But first we see a battle ending between Gengar and Blastoise. Gengar using Gyro Ball. I'm pretty sure that that's not one of its moves, but I will check that out. And then we see the ringleader using his Charizard, and he challenges our main character and Pikachu, because apparently Pikachu, when he was partners with our main character's father, he took on this ringleader and his Charizard and he won. Now, the purple gas comes in because the ringleader gives it to his Charizard, and he goes insane and starts to try to beat up on Pikachu. And Pikachu, as we learned when they first met, it has amnesia, so it forgets how to use its moves. They supposedly get arrested, and there is a CEO of, I guess, a company and a lab that talks to him and shows us our first holograph of what we didn't see and what people don't want us to see. And the first thing that we see is a holograph of the car crash. And what we also see is we see Mewtwo. And since Mewtwo is seen at the scene of the crash, we now have an idea that if we can find Mewtwo, we will find the boy's father. Our main hero and our Pikachu team up with the journalist and the Psyduck, and they head to the lab where Mewtwo was created. Now Pikachu opens up a hologram of Mewtwo escaping. And we also see another holograph of the car crash. And after that, we get a glimpse of what happens in that lab and that purple gas. We find out that it's called Chemical R, and it's supposed to make Pokemon evolve even farther. And the two Pokemon we see are Greninja and Torterra, who Pikachu accidentally lets out. We then see another holograph of Pikachu actually overloading the circuit so that Mewtwo can escape. Now, once this all ends, the Greninja actually attack the characters, and Psyduck finally gets to use its headache powers and blast them away. However, they're dark types and it's psychic power, but it's neither here nor there, I guess. So now, they get away from the Greninja, and all of a sudden a Torterra garden starts. And in the middle of all of it, a miniature rock slide knocks out Pikachu, either killing him or fainting him. Our main character, having a bond with Pokemon, sensing their feelings and Pokemon sensing his, he gets a Bulbasaur to go get his Pikachu some help to heal it. And he comes back with a herd of Bulbasaur, which take the main character and Pikachu to Mewtwo, surprisingly. Mewtwo then heals Pikachu, and it tells Pikachu that it's done a good job. The CEO of the company then comes and captures Mewtwo for a second time. Yeah, Mewtwo has been caught twice now. Not really the strongest Pokemon in the world, I guess, but it's being portrayed in it, so let's go with that. But anyway, after all that goes down, Pikachu and the main character actually go their separate ways. Because Pikachu is the one that overloaded the circuit, it feels like it betrayed the main character's father, and because he betrayed the main character's father, there's a good chance that he'll betray the main character. Our main character is obviously taken awe by this, thinking that Pikachu would not betray him. However, they do go their separate ways. Pikachu ends up at a bridge, and it ends up being the scene of the car crash, and we see skid marks and outlines of what looks like the car turning over, and we also see one of Greninja's shurikens. Pikachu then comes up with the idea that it actually wasn't Mewtwo's fault that the car crashed. Pikachu's thought process was that the CEO of this company sent his Greninja to crash the car, and Mewtwo was there trying to stop it. And once he'd seen what happens, he fuses Pikachu and the main character's father, because the main character was the first Pokemon to have a bond with its partner. And this is not canon to the first movie, obviously, because that would have been Ash and Friends. But that's beside the point. Now, Pikachu is going to run back trying to tell everybody that Mewtwo is the good guy and the CEO is actually the bad guy. Meanwhile, our main character goes back to find a Pokemon parade with a bunch of balloons. Now, the CEO of this company has actually made receptors that he's attached to himself and Mewtwo, and he now controls the mind of Mewtwo. He goes out and starts popping the balloons with a huge crowd of people there watching the parade as this chemical R is poured down on the people and its Pokemon, fusing them together. Pikachu then runs into the scene and begins a battle with Mewtwo, and this is actually our second main battle. Obviously, Mewtwo is going to strike Pikachu down with the power of Zeus. Before he has the opportunity to do that, our main character is able to detach the receptors from the CEO. After that, the CEO is arrested, and we meet up with his son, who has never been a big fan of the CEO's work. Now, his son vows to undo all the damage done by his father. And we're also meeting with Mewtwo. And what Mewtwo does is it separates Pikachu and our main character's father, which is why Pikachu is able to speak in human. And this is confirmed when we see the main character's father hugging him while Pikachu is talking in its normal Pikachu voice. And eventually, our journalist does get to do the main story of all of the current events that have occurred. And we end the movie with a touching scene of our main character and his father. Some things that I really liked were throwbacks to the anime, with the Cubone from the Origin special, and I think the Generation special. I'm not really sure about that, though. I like the throwback to Misty's Psyduck when it always had headaches. I liked Jigglypuff when I got a cameo singing in the coffee shop, I guess. It looked more like a bar, but it was really a coffee shop. The Squirtle Squad got a cameo. That was really fun to see. And as far as the anime goes, we finally have an answer to Ash and Greninja's bond. We know the Greninja has chemical R somewhere inside its body somehow, and that's how Ash and Greninja are able to control it. So this is a question that was answered that people have had for years now. I really like the plot development. I really like the character development. We see a progression in the story while we also see flashbacks. And it's really interesting how they didn't have to spend any time at the beginning of the movie hyping it up, showing the actual car crash, showing our main character's actual childhood, because we saw that while the plot was thickening, which kind of intensified it more and really got me, at least, emotionally into it. Some things I didn't like was the lack of battles, and honestly, I mean, it kind of made up for it. It was a really good movie for Pokemon not being battle-based. And Pokemon appearances, I didn't really like how Greninja only had like 2 roles, but I mean, it made up for it by answering a question that I've had for a long time with Greninja's bond phenomenon and Ash and all that kind of stuff. And also, I didn't really like how Charizard didn't show up that much, except for that one battle. I mean, it really looked like he was going to be there for a lot of the movie, but I also think he could have showed up when Mewtwo and Pikachu were fighting on top of these big skyscrapers. I think it would have been cool to see Charizard come in and start fighting, and